When important factors are repressed or ignored, their energy goes into the unconscious and can have unpredictable, often harmful effects. They create a persistent, destructive shadow. Social anxiety is a common condition, often leading people to withdraw and avoid social settings altogether. But what if there's a way to understand this anxiety, not just as a problem, but as a message from your inner self? In this video, we will explore the roots of social anxiety and provide a general guide to dealing with it from a Jungian perspective. For Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychiatrist, anxiety is not just about the mind or body alone. It reflects an imbalance in our entire being, including our psychological, spiritual, and mental aspects. Anxiety demands immediate attention, forcing us to confront what is buried inside. This view suggests that anxiety is a call to explore and address deeper issues within ourselves. Jung suggests that neurosis, including anxiety, often substitutes for legitimate suffering. Legitimate suffering refers to the natural, unavoidable pain that arises from the process of personal growth, facing life's challenges, and confronting the realities of existence. Unlike neurotic suffering, which stems from unresolved psychological conflicts and manifests as anxiety or other symptoms, legitimate suffering is considered a necessary part of individuation, the journey towards self-actualization and wholeness. In Civilization in Transition, Jung states, neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. This means that when we avoid the essential struggles and pains that come with personal growth and self-discovery, our psyche may develop neurotic symptoms as a way to mask or escape from these deeper, necessary experiences. For example, someone avoiding the pain of addressing unresolved childhood trauma might develop chronic anxiety or obsessive-compulsive behaviors as a distraction. Similarly, a person who fears confronting their dissatisfaction with their career might experience severe depression, which serves to avoid facing the difficult choices and changes needed for personal fulfillment. Jung believed that instead of trying to get rid of a neurosis, we should seek to understand what it means, what it has to teach, and what its purpose is. This perspective can be empowering. Instead of feeling like a victim of anxiety, we can view it as a guide, prompting us to explore and address what truly needs our attention. Now that we see anxiety as a message from our unconscious, let's dig into what's really behind it and figure out what fuels our fears from a Jungian perspective. This will lead us to exploring Jung's concepts of complexes, the shadow, and the persona. One key concept in Jungian analysis is the idea of complexes. Complexes are like mini personalities in our mind, created by unresolved past experiences. They have their own energy and influence. These complexes can distort our view of reality and cause anxiety. To illustrate this concept, consider someone with a social rejection complex. They might feel extremely anxious in social situations because they fear being rejected or judged. Another significant aspect of Jung's theory is the shadow. The shadow includes parts of ourselves that we repress because they don't fit our self-image or societal norms. These repressed parts can be natural impulses or authentic expressions of self that we have denied. This repression can directly contribute to social anxiety. For instance, someone with social anxiety might believe they will be judged if they are outgoing, leading them to suppress their natural desire for social connection and self-expression. This suppression creates an internal conflict, as the conscious mind tries to keep these outgoing tendencies hidden to avoid perceived negative judgments. The persona, another fundamental concept in Jungian psychology, refers to the social mask we wear to conform to societal expectations and norms. It is the image we project to others, shaped by what we believe is acceptable or desirable in our social context. While the persona helps us navigate social interactions and fulfill our roles in society, over-identifying with this mask can create a significant disconnect between our true self and the image we present to the world. When we become too attached to our persona, we start to define ourselves solely by these external standards. Neglecting our inner desires, feelings, and authentic expressions, this disconnection can lead to social anxiety because we feel immense pressure to maintain this facade, fearing that any deviation might lead to rejection or disapproval. The fear of being found out or judged for who we truly are exacerbates this anxiety, creating a cycle of stress and inauthenticity. To put these insights into practice, First, recognize anxiety as a messenger. This involves acknowledging the presence of anxiety and considering what it might be signaling about our inner world. Second, identify and integrate complexes through self-reflection or therapy, uncovering patterns shaped by past experiences that influence our current fears. Third, engage in shadow work. Techniques such as journaling and active imagination can facilitate the process of acknowledging and integrating repressed parts of ourselves. This work helps to reduce the internal conflicts that contribute to anxiety. Fourth, balance the persona and true self. Reflecting on the aspects of our social persona and how they differ from our true self can help us practice authenticity in social settings. Gradually allowing our true self to come forward more often can alleviate the pressure to maintain a false image and reduce social anxiety. Understanding anxiety as a signal of deeper psychic imbalance rather than a standalone problem can be revolutionary. Viewing anxiety not as an enemy, but as a messenger from the unconscious mind opens the door to deeper self-exploration. This shift in perspective can reduce the fear associated with anxiety and encourage us to listen to what our psyche is trying to communicate. As Carl Jung said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes."